So this question's got a star at the front of it, so it's asking us to be really clear in our workings and make sure we're explaining our answers as we go along and why we did things. So we look at the question and it's about filling flower pots completely with compost. So we don't underfill, we don't have it spilling over. So we've got to fill the whole of this up. If we're filling it up, then it's about volume. So the first thing we've got to do is write down the formula for the volume of a cylinder. So we recognise that this shape is a cylinder. So volume of cylinder equals, well, for the front of the exam paper, it reminds us that for a prism, which a cylinder is, a cylinder has the same circle at the bottom and at the top. So therefore, with it having parallel sides, it's the same cross section throughout. Therefore, it's a prism. So it tells us that it's going to be the area times the length, and it's the area of cross section. So in other words, the shape that goes through the whole prism. This is a circle, so we have to remember the area formula for the circle is pi r squared, and we're timesing by the length of the shape, which in cylinders we tend to call it the height. Do we know the numbers? Well, for the r squared, they've been kind enough to tell us what the radius is straight away, so pi times 6 squared. Do we know the height of the cylinder? Yeah, 15. So calculator paper, and so we've got pi times 36, 6 squared is 36, times 15. So we end up with an answer of 1696.46. Now leave most of the calculator answer in your workings. It's not the final answer yet, so don't round too soon. So that's how big the cylinder is. Now we need to realise that this has got centimetre units, so because we're doing volume, then it's centimetre times centimetre, which will give us cubic centimetres. So to fill one pot, it's going to be 1696.46 cubic centimetres. So that's the volume sorted. So we know how much we need to fill one pot. The question goes on and talks about having 15 litres of compost. This is cubic centimetres, it's mentioned in litres. Two different units. That should shout out at you. Change the units of one of them so they work with the same units to make the sums work. So a conversion that we're expected to remember is that 1 litre is the same as 1,000 millilitres, which is the same as 1,000 cubic centimetres. Basically 1 millilitre is equal to 1 cubic centimetre. That's the conversion we need to remember. This question would fall down if you didn't know that, and you could lose a lot of marks very quickly by not being able to use that conversion properly. So the amount of compost, a starred question, remember? So the amount of compost, explain what you're doing, is 15 times 1,000, which is 15,000 cubic centimetres. So now we've got the same units. Now the question wants to know the number of pots we can fill. So the number of pots has got to be the volume of the compost shared by the volume of each pot. So we've got 15,000 and we divide that by 1696.46, get an answer of 8.84 pots. Remember, any numbers, put the units down, tell the examiners what you're dealing with. So the question says she fills up each flower pot completely. We've done the 15 litres of compost. How many flower pots can she fill? Well, we can't write down 8.84 because she wants to fill each one completely. So the actual final answer will be 8 pots can be filled completely. So on our answer line, we'd be putting 8 pots. So again, just be careful. Start question, show all your workings, be clear what you're doing. Make sure you learn these conversions if you don't know them, because you're going to use them somewhere in your exam. And the amount of compost, we're explaining to the examiner what we're doing. That's start question again. And number of pots, fairly straightforward sum, calculate a question. But then we've realised by ticking off everything to make sure we've actually taken note of it and done something about it, it said how many pots can she fill. She wants to fill completely, so she can only fill 8 completely. So that's why the final answer would be 8.